All right. We are, what is it? Today's March 21st. Is it 21st? So we have March 21st, Real World Content Team meeting. And thank you guys for doing the hashtags for, from last week, adding that to the thunderclap. I think that and the meeting on Friday, I think went really, really well. We have some really interesting stuff like happening, like the folks that are that we've been able to activate in our network, and what that could potentially amount to is it's pretty interesting. Like you'll see today, I posted a chat that I had with Legion M's president, Jeff Anderson, and this Jeff's like I just posted that within like the last hour and a half, and like Jeff is just really super supportive of us and what we're doing, and like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's partner, Gaurav Misra over at Hit Record, super supportive. These guys are like, what we're doing is very much inspired by what they've built in the past, and we're kind of building. It's all part of like the same like Hollywood 2.0 ecosystem. So just really, really great to have their support, and it's what we're doing together collectively that's essentially allowing these conversations to be had. So thank you guys. And this is, so I got the content from our last meeting, and I already reached out to Demetrius over at Warner Media at the Urban Action Showcase and let him know that, hey, I'll send over the content as soon as possible, because there's just been a bunch going on, and I want to make sure that promo video is really, really great. So I just want to make sure I have, because you shared another drive link, right? Yeah. Okay. So you shared another drive link with that. I think that was like right away. You did it like that night.
I think so. I think it was that night or the following. I think it was the following evening, and I couldn't send it to the link that you gave. For some reason, it wouldn't let me upload, so I had to upload it and share it directly to you from another folder.
And Mike, you shared it with me from your Google Photos, right?
Yeah, I had the same issue. When I went to upload, there was just no button there.
No button. There was no button.
So when you have access to something you can upload on Google Drive, there's a little plus sign.
Yeah.
I didn't have a plus sign, so I just figured I'd send it to you the way I could.
Okay, now that's great strategy. I'm checking the folder right now.
I'm sending you the email again to 3 of your emails.
No, thank you. I'm checking the I'm checking the permissions, because I thought I could have sworn it said anybody with the link, or all you guys were essentially editors. Why is that so? That's so weird. I know I changed this link, so let me just. There we go. Anyone, and there we go.
I mean, Google can be weird sometimes. The important thing is this wasn't an unbeatable obstacle. It was pretty easy to get around with 5 minutes.
Real welcome video. Okay, I've made adjustments. The whole folder should be, and there's different parts of the folder, but essentially everything in the folder now should be editable by all you guys, which meaning that you can upload and download. Anyone with the link? Okay, great, awesome.
Okay,
great.
Yeah, because it was empty when I got there, so I don't know if I edited or not. I definitely could not upload.
Okay, yeah, please let me know if you have that issue now. But Yulon, thank you for resending, and I just got the and David, looking at, what am I looking at? Is that a plug? It's a plug, I think. David, did you? I saw your like a music link that you sent, but did you send over the Welcome to Real World video? I'm not sure if David's there, but it's a great view of very, very cinematic and intriguing view. Might be a cup. Okay.
Welcome to Real World. Will you tell?
David, I was just wondering if you had the same issues as Mike and Eric uploading your Welcome to Real World video. Oh, I think he just, okay. No,
I'm uploading it. I'm uploading it to your folder now. I believe it should be doing okay now.
Okay, cool. So it's actually working for you now.
It seems to be all right. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Great, guys. Well, you know, I'm just super interested in like what you guys think is the Oscars is coming up this week, right? And what it's Monday. Is it Sunday? It's either Sunday or Monday. Oscars is Sunday or Monday. I think it's Sunday. And one of the things that I've been wanting to do for months and that we've talked about for months is, you know, being really prepared with our message as Real World for events that are just like absolutely happening and we can prepare for, you know, being prepared for the things that we know are happening and just like preparing content for those things. And so I'm super interested in what you guys think would be a fun theme for a video. Like I know the video I want to shoot for the Oscars because I've had it in my mind for months and I'm like, I just got to shoot this thing. I'm essentially, I'll just tell you what it is now. The theme is a Oscar acceptance speech and essentially saying, hey, you know, that all of you who've made like, you know, you have these great performances and you have these great films and, you know, we all think that film is timeless, but the truth is that none of that matters. None of your work matters. You know, and talking about how people will forget you. And essentially saying like, look, like the best thing we could possibly do is actually just be the best people we can be in this moment now and be the best character that we possibly can be in this moment right now. And that's it. And so focus on being great right now, really, and all this other work, awesome, but no one's gonna remember it. And so like just like I wanted to do something that's gonna be, you know, strike a chord in some way, like an emotional chord. But I think that this is, and I have to look at my notes because it's a little bit more it's concise, but it's like I'm hoping that it will be concise when I shoot it. But I actually have to put the time. I have to like put on a little suit, you know. I have to do it, and it's been just been so much going on. So I'm like, okay, like let me bring this to the team and share ideas, get ideas back from you guys on what you could potentially do, so that we as thematically as a team are making something for the Oscars. And
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be really, really fun.
It's like all these great movies, wonderful, you guys are amazing. But then 2 minutes later, who are you? Thank you very much for the award. I appreciate it. See you later. You know, that's pretty much like your message. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, just like really, really think about like all these. We went to the because like we went to the Oscars Museum here in LA, and I'd never been before. We went a few months ago, and they're having this it's from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. It's their museum, and they have this amazing exhibit, 5 floors, I think, because the 4th floor is Miyazaki, and it was phenomenal. That's the reason we watched Totoro, My Neighbor Totoro, great film, but a great animation. But what I'm getting at is that it was framing cinema as the most popular genre of entertainment in the world, and that's definitively not true. But it's there, and because the Academy is saying it, that it's a big deal. And I'm like, well, hold on for a second. The most popular form of entertainment in the world is music. It is the lowest hanging fruit for everybody on the planet to create music, and so therefore it is the most popular form of entertainment in the world. And so, so there's always quotations around. Like Hollywood claims. And I've been thinking about these quotations. I've been thinking about what it really means in the ecosystem of Hollywood. For us, for example, Justice for Hire can be within the coming months the #1 show in the world. But what does that really mean? Well, there's a bunch of metrics that we went down and like, okay, well, what are the largest casts for film and television of all time? Okay, like how many characters does Marvel have? Okay, well, how can we eclipse those numbers within this set amount of time? Totally doable. We absolutely can do it. And then when we do that, we're going to say Justice for Hire is the #1 show in the world, you know, because we have specific metrics that we're referencing. But and along the lines of that, like all these folks who are winning all the this campaign trails for films, which you know they're doing tons of PR for the films that want to even get nominated, etc. There's politics in LA and Hollywood to get your film recognized to win these awards for what? So bridging the gap between the legacy, the old world, and what we're doing, the new world, and saying, well, hold on, like there's everybody on this call right now owns their own character that needs to be treated with the same reverence that we treat these Hollywood films and shows. So you guys taking on awards, not to say that's what you should do, but like acceptance speeches from you guys to me are really, really interesting because there's no difference. Like there's literally like I had a semi argument with a buddy yesterday who's a few years older, who is, you know, I consider him there's a lot of people who went to film school who are actors or who are in some form have worked their ass off to be in their position in Hollywood right now that are really upset with our position, with ReelwUrld's position of saying that anybody can do it. Well, they're like, no, you should go to school. You should learn. Like my buddy yesterday coming over here, he's like, no, like you really want to do it? You go to school, you do all this other stuff. For what? Because if I open my phone right now and I scroll on Instagram or TikTok, I see tons of things that inspire me to do better and to be better. And I'm more creative and all this other stuff. And it is not different than me seeing a movie. The only difference is time. And so, or a show. And I can spend more time on social, and that's what social actually is. Social pulls more time in every single day from people on social versus watching films, etc. So essentially, social is the number one form of entertainment. So not cinema. So like, you know, and what's on social? Music and all this other stuff. So I think it's really, really, I think that I'm just throwing this out there, but I feel like seeing you guys do your own version of like an acceptance speech, to me is really powerful. And like, what would you say? Well, to me is a really interesting question. And so I think that is a theme we should focus on for this week. And I'd be interested in your guys' thoughts, ideas, etc.
Well, when you talk about acceptance speeches, the first place my mind goes to is Marlon Brando and his kinds of shenanigans, where as long as enough of us do something fairly relatable, say there's 5 of us here, and I don't know who else is going to do this, but if at least half of us do something that's pretty easy to pick up on, then the rest of us could get pretty far out there, do some kind of Marlon Brando type stunt if we wanted to.
So are you saying Brando, are you going to model, are you thinking about maybe modeling your, like Brando famously won an Oscar and did not accept the Oscar
Exactly
on behalf of the, a indigenous peoples, a tribe, a group of indigenous peoples that there was, he wanted to make a statement, be like, hey, I'm not showing up.
Exactly. What I'm saying is that in that vein, a few of us can get really out there and do something really wild. We should all do that or make the joke too hard to relate to.
I agree with you. I totally agree. I see what you're saying. So essentially, to make sure I'm understanding correctly, you're saying do something that strikes a chord, period. Like say something meaningful.
Yeah, and if it's a bit weird, as long as enough of us are playing the joke somewhat straight,
yeah,
it still has a good context.
I think that's great. I think that's fantastic. I mean, and let me know what support you guys need. I mean, I think that you know, I have a tournament this weekend, for example. So I'm like the head judge of this push hands thing, World Series. So like, you know, I'm like, okay, I need to get this cut and done before then. And like, there's only so much time in the week. And like, one of the things I want to do is I'm going to pull from Oscars footage. So I'm going to shoot myself outside, or maybe on a curtain. Oh yeah, no, I'm going to shoot myself in this green screen right over here. And My green screen right there. I shoot myself on that green screen, and I have a little, like, I should have picked up an Oscars award when I was in like Hollywood proper, but I did not. And those things are super expensive too, because like they're trying to take advantage of all those tourists. So, but I have something I can hold and be like, look, I'm, or if I didn't have something I would hold, maybe I would be like, I'm not accepting this award, with my hands open, but still use the backdrop. But I mean, however you guys can, and Eric, I'm interested in your thoughts too. Like I'm going to intercut. I'm going to put myself on an Oscars background, and I'm going to intercut reactions from actors in the audience. So that's going to be my thing. And so, but however you guys want to do your thing, and I'm going to use an app called Videoleap to do the majority of my editing, because I've mentioned it before. It's really, really efficient, and it's less stressful for me personally. Even though I love sitting down and editing on this computer right here is very, I have to get into a zone for that. And I'm like cutting versus like sitting here and just being like, it's Videoleap is great. I can't say enough good about Videoleap. And
so what comes to mind is to do that kind of video would be pretty cool. To make it seem like it is not the most important thing in my life, it could be, I'm here and JFH pings. I check my text or answer the call, and it says, Eric, you got to be at the awards. They're giving you an award. I'm like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden just appear right on stage. No, you can keep that. Like we keep the same theme, like we're not going to take it. It's like, oops, sorry, I had other more important things to do here. It's something within the lines that you guys are talking about, where it kind of like sets the stage that this is not, or the Academy or Hollywood is not the ultimate thing. It's everyone with their phone can make their video, make their movie, be a star in their own show, right? So if as for what I'm getting, following off on what you two are saying, we take the stance of, nope, don't want this, but we show that in our facial expressions. For me, it'll be my expression will be, I'm doing something else that I find more important than being at an award show. Oops, I totally forgot. All right, let me go there and just say a few things and just sit there and follow up and continue whatever theme that you guys agree upon.
So I think that the theme can, the like, we don't have to all not accept the award. Like you can accept the award if you want. And there were, they often do for years pre-COVID, video, like, hey, like they do videos where someone remotely accepts the award rather than showing up. So if you wanted to accept the award or not accept the award and wanted to do it remotely, but potentially like intercut, like again, old footage from old Oscars back and forth, like you could totally do that. And
oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's like have them say right when they're about to say the award, the receiver of the award's name, just silence it and just voice over it with your name.
Exactly.
And then everyone's yay, and then it cuts to everyone clapping and whatever, and then all of a sudden the video pops up and it's
that's
like,
actually hilarious. Someone's like, and the award goes to Eric Oliver, and it's like a totally different voice. It's like a woman reading it, and your voice pops up, Eric Oliver.
And then it's a man's voice.
Then just cut to, hey, I couldn't be there today, just want to let everybody know, and then say something incredibly like real. Like, because I mean the stuff that you post about like meditation and all that stuff, like that's like hard. You're saying hard hitting stuff that a lot of people don't say when it comes to talking about meditation, etc. And not to say that you should focus on that, but I mean, like with that
would keep the theme.
Yeah, keeping the theme of just being super real in a world of veils being held over people's head and
that's pretty cool.
Our eyes. I think it'd be great. And so I'm happy to workshop any ideas, or if you guys want to meditate on that. Like I said, I've been thinking about mine all year, and the fact that it's the week of and I haven't shot anything, I'm like, okay, I better shoot something. So like I actually have to do that, and maybe I should do that today. Maybe that's the right thing to do today. It is the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do today. I've been feeling with a bunch of energy this morning, so I'm just like, man, I do the productive creative work, the healing creative work.
Hmm.
The first idea I've got would take a little bit of editing. I was thinking that I would do in character a sensei clause, and the award would just be a smaller sensei clause.
The award is a smaller sensei clause. That's amazing.
Just sheer surreality.
I mean, do you have a sensei clause doll?
No, I was thinking I'd Photoshop that, just really obviously.
That's amazing.
Just hold like a cup or something and shoot them in.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. That's hilarious. Eric,
Ooh, that's pretty cool because I have a Venom's head cup, the old mug that's just the handle is Venom's tongue and it's wrapping around his whole face.
Oh, wow.
That could be a cool award.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
When you said that, you had the Santa thing, and I was like, oh, wait a second. That's so friggin' cool because that's a wild thing to do. You know, it's like you're gonna just Photoshop an image or Photoshop something in your hand to make it so obvious. Oh my God, it's gonna tell the audience, what the and why not? That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome idea. That just literally, you know how you weaken an enemy is that you pick on the points they think are the strongest and you make it like you reduce it to nothing. It's like you weaken its morale. So when you do that and you're like, I'm gonna Photoshop this and you know, like that, to me, it's like weaken the morale of the perspective of the Academy Awards or the Oscars.
Oh yeah, no, I love that. Thank you for saying that too. That's very, very important. That's a very important strategic perspective. Very, very important strategic.
I mean, it's pretty hard hitting. I mean, to do that. Oh, thanks for this great Oscars award. This piece of shit, you know, or something. You know, just the way you did that. Mike. It was like, hey, I'm just gonna Photoshop, and that just says, well, the Oscars are like their awards. They buy for like $10 and charge people millions of dollars for. You know, it's kind of like reducing them down to nothing. And I mean, it seems like a horrible thing to do to somebody, but the truth is, it's like taking the power right out of someone who's gaslighting.
I think most people in the industry have some idea of how flawed the Oscars are. You know, if you really want to, you can hold two opinions at once. That's cognitive dissonance. But I mean, this is going to be on video, so I'm going to keep it short. But I think a lot of people these days have heard that for years the Oscars were subject to Harvey Weinstein's machinations, and just anything to do with him now is leaves a bit of a bitter taste in your mouth. Which, you know,
yeah,
is awful because I'm a Tarantino fan. But what can you do?
That's what she said.
well, okay. So this is I just want to be clear. Like the intention, because real world, like what we're really doing is building bridges, right? We're building a bridge between the audience that is traditionally considered, hey, you just take this and you buy this because all we care about is your money. And we're taking Hollywood and we're saying, well, hold on, there's actually a bridge for collaboration and communication, and the audience wants it. And Hollywood is kind of like, I don't know about anything that's new. You know, what do you mean new? Well, no, we don't do that. So it's essentially, and the only time new gets accepted is when there's a groundswell of like, oh yeah, we actually need to be communicating with these folks because they have more attention than us and more money than us right now. And so that's why TikTok has any like respect at all. And that respect is very, very, very low still in terms of the actual users, et cetera. So real world really is that bridge of saying, hey, you know what, let's get all the audience. Let's take these great practices from Hollywood and let's prove that we can do it with the audience together. And so what I mean by saying all this, that it's less about like, we want to have reverence for the great work for ourselves, but also the great work that's been done in Hollywood, et cetera. And like, so when I say these things that it doesn't matter, what I mean is that I don't mean that I don't mean to tear down. I mean to say that at the end of the day, it is really all about our character, and it's really all about how we treat each other. And that's how we should be remembered, rather than, like, one thing I'm going to touch on is Kate Muldoon. Is that her last name? But Star Trek Voyager, captain of Star Trek Voyager, who then became more of a household name on Orange is the New Black, and the stories that she shares about being a parent and not seeing her children for significant portions of their life because of shooting something, Star Trek, and how challenging that it was for her as a person and as a parent, and the regret that people talk about this all the time, like these hours in Hollywood, blah blah, like it keeps you away from your family. Even the Urban Action Showcase had a whole bunch of stunt performers on there, and the stunt performers on the panel that they did a few months ago and back in November they were talking about, hey, if I'm going to be spending all this time away from my family, then it's got to be worth it. So I might as well be working on a project I love and people I respect. And to me, that's not a worthy trade-off. Like, it's not a worthy trade-off. I don't want to be away from my son. I want to be his dad. I want to be with him, and I want to show him what it means to make stuff in person, not because he can look at dad's movie. So, I think that there's a different way of viewing how we spend our time and what's really important in life, because his growth as a person is more important than my career. And like recognizing that our priorities are essentially out of whack, and we as a culture need to make adjustments on that. And by making adjustments on that, there might be some people we piss off, but it's not that we're intentionally trying to stab at Hollywood. It's really more so saying, like, hey, this is out of balance in everybody's life that's working right now, and this is this is the way to be in balance. And here's a fun way that we're articulating that. And so that's really what I'm getting at with this. So I just want to make sure that I'm being clear that these aren't intentional stabs at Hollywood. They are byproducts of saying something that's real. And so I would focus on saying the real thing for whatever you guys might feel should be addressed.
Wow,
And
that really puts me into this creative brainstorm of, why not have your son tugging at your leg or something like that while you're doing your recording? Like, I'm sitting there going, wow, you know what? Why not touch on that too? How people have to be away from their families, but here we are with our personal lives, whatever it is that we have in our personal lives that we don't want to be away from, right? So, like, for me, it'll be here, and I would have my son in the background while I'm saying something, and someone will make a remark, hey, you're on the Oscars, you're receiving an award, you have all that stuff going on in the background. I'm like, that's what's supposed to happen, some shit like that, like making people see that connection that you don't want to lose. Following what you're saying, you don't want to lose your you put together, like they can be there, or you would make the time for this, make the time for that, and not take too much away. So kind of like an integration of your own personal life seems to be number one first, and then everything else, becomes tertiary. Because secondary would be the next most important thing to your life, besides your own personal lifestyle and how you take care of yourself. So it's you, then everyone else, you, then whoever's immediate to your family, and then the rest of the world. That's the tertiary. I don't know. I'm just dropping these ideas that pop into my head when you're saying this. Probably sound better if it was on paper.
That's a super important, beautiful idea. And like I said, so like the intention here is just to get us all thinking about it. I will write. I'm gonna write mine in a bit and shoot it today, and I think this could be really important. I think this could again, it's not a JFH thing. It's a real world thing. It's really about us saying, like, what do we really hope for from, we do these things, and a lot of times, like the Oscars, like there's data on, like, I forgot how much longer your life increases if you win an Oscar. Like, there's actual data behind this. Like, people who win an Oscar live longer than people that don't win an Oscar. So there's data on this. This happened several years ago. And so what does that really mean? Like, what is that sense of accomplishment that people are essentially placing upon this object? And so like, and how do we feel about that when it comes to like what really should be accomplished in life? And again, it could be, the theme could be anything you want. But I really would just figure out how to say something. Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, what I was saying before about Weinstein was that whether or not you respect the movies, and I happen to, there's a political element, which is what I don't personally care for. So when you're talking about the Oscars and various statistics, you can find a lot of frankly distasteful stuff. For example, women tend to win their 20s, men tend to win their 40s. And I'm not going to get into all this because I've done a bit of reading on this, but when you get down to it, there are a lot of political elements that people don't talk about for various reasons, where like I said, I have a lot of respect for people who can make good movies and people who actually have skills they actualize for cinema. Where I feel the whole thing is a bit hollow is who actually wins is often more political thing.
Absolutely.
So that's, so if I'm taking a shot, yeah, I got to aim it right, but it's going to be at the political element, at the kind of dirty underbelly, the behind closed doors bits. The movies themselves, I like some, don't like others, like everyone else in the universe, But even the ones I don't like, sometimes you see a movie you don't like and you think, well, that wasn't my thing, but it can't have been easy.
Oh man, like I think this is a great theme. I think this is the kind of theme that like pushes each of us as recognizing that this is an opportunity for us to use our voice in connection to what we're all doing together to actually say something really timely. And so I'm excited for this, and I'm going to do my best to have. It's possible I can totally get mine out by Friday, because all this stuff should be online well before the Oscars on Sunday. So let's aim for Friday as the latest to be posting that, and like my intention is to get all the stuff from you guys and repost it on all the Real World channels, like specifically with the intent of driving, getting making our message more visible, while all this other, hyper focus on like the Hollywood narrative is happening. So let's aim for Friday, the latest. And if you can get it earlier, that's great. And if you need any help, support from my end, just let me know. Any style that you want to do it, like I'm sure like your creativity will shine. And like I said, I'm gonna get, I'm not sure if I'll shave, but I'll definitely get in front of the green screen. So it's gonna be good.
So real quick, how long is a standard Oscar speech? Maybe 2 minutes?
Oh, I don't know. They used to, I know they have more, they got more strict in the last decade. But the thing that I'm really thinking about social media consumption, and like, hey, I have 3 seconds. I have 1.5 to 3 seconds to capture someone's like heart. And okay, well, so what do I have to say in those 1.5, 3 seconds or do that's going to grab the attention? And, and yeah, like, well, what is that? So I don't know yet. I'm thinking about the first shot, and I'm like, okay, well, what would I stop on? So, and what combination of image and text would actually make me, if the image, because it doesn't have to be image and text, but it might need to be. You might see something and then you catch somebody's eye and they're about to pull away, and then they see the text and they're like, oh, hold on. Oh, that that thing speaks to me. I will give it another 1.5 seconds. Ooh, this speaks to me more. You've got me, you know, like that's how I view stuff. I'm like, oh. You know,
So where I was going with that is it could potentially be good, depending on how this goes, to make a longer and short version, or just make sure you have a long version that has something that could be easily cut into a montage or something. You know?
absolutely.
At least one visually striking moment or sequence of, I don't know, 5 seconds.
So I'd say this, that so yes, I think there's a difference between writing for cutting, like to write knowing specifically how you're going to cut it, versus writing and then seeing, because anytime you write anything, it then is going to depend on your performance, and you may recognize that, hey, this part I didn't expect to do this part of that writing with this energy, and I expected to do this other part with a different energy. And so now my thinking has changed. Now I'm recutting in my head before you even get to the editing process. So I think it's really important to whatever your process really is to, and it's of course going to be a developing process, but you know, like whatever works for you, go for it. I'm going to do my best to write for what I cut. But last time when I did that, like Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream fandom thing, if you remember that, like I wrote, that thing was double the length. And so I cut it on the high note because the intention is really like, hey, like, you know, I have a dream where we all work together to make our own movies and shows. It's gonna be great. You know, like hello, mother. I'm in a meeting right now. It's my mom. I can't call you right back.
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay, I love you. All right, love you. Bye. Bye. It's okay. Love you so much. Bye. Always pick up for my mom.
Wow, I remember when I met her.
Yeah, she's great. She always, yeah, she met both of you guys in person. Yeah, she thought you were both very, very, very sweet guys. She's like, so sweet. Oh, sweet mom. Yeah, guys. I mean, I think that's. I think, you know, I think we got it. We'll do another thunderclap. I'm not sure for what yet, but I'll send some form of graphic over for 12:30 on Thursday. And let's aim for this for Friday. And however, like I said, if any support you might need, just let me know, and we'll go from there. We'll fire.
All right.
Sounds good.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so
That's
much,
gonna be
guys.
fun.
As usual.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
All right. Love you guys. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Peace.
Sure.
Have a great night.